Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on 3 winning strategies to get a fashion job. Thank you for joining in today on a Saturday morning. Specifically, some of you might be working, some of you might be having a holiday and getting up in the morning to come and learn something, talk I want to ask a simple question today. Have you ever wondered why do some people get a fashion job easily? Do you think that there's some magic wand that they do and they just kind of get jobs quickly? Have you ever thought about it? Please share your answers in the chat box because we want to keep this whole session really interactive so that you and I can understand that you are getting what you have come here for, and I'm delivering exactly what you are looking for. So my first question is that do you think that there is some way where some people are more lucky in terms of getting a job, and whereas others struggle for a long time? Rachna, every time actually you are muting, then I'm also getting muted as well. So
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
yeah, thank you. So does any one of you think actually that, why some people find it extremely easy to get a job, whereas others really struggle a lot, even after making applications, showing it, that this is the experience that they have, still they keep struggling about uh, what can they really do to get a job? Do you ever feel something like this is there and you want to know as what should be the perfect way to going about it? Well, then that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing today. And I've got some answers here. Okay, so yeah, some of you think like that as well. Actually, to be honest, yes, there is. And that's what we are going to be showcasing and telling you today. So today we are going to be talking about, and this is just coming from my own experience of how I got a job, like 7 job offers, even when I was not a graduate and had no experience, and internships was not something that was very popular in my times. So it's nothing that, I've studied something and I'm just telling you here. It's about my practical experience of 25 years in the industry. And I can tell you that it is not really important for you to have your qualifications and have the relevant experience for you to get a job. There's a completely different science about getting a job. And I really understood it more when I was actually hiring myself, when I used to struggle to hire people. And this is exactly what we are going to be covering today as how can you get a job in the fashion while using the 3 winning strategies we are going to be sharing. And doesn't matter if you are starting out today, you are still in your college and thinking about internship, and you might be thinking it's not right for me, it's too early for me, because this is something which I had used when I was not even a graduate. So let's begin with telling you a little bit about myself, that why even I'm having this conversation with you. So in the fashion industry, I've been there for 25 years. For the last 2.5 years, I have founded this company, Fashion Business Consulting, because I work with fashion businesses to help them become really profitable. I coach, train, and speak for fashion entrepreneurs and professionals. I have worked with some of the leading retailers, the top retailers in the world, the best brands, high street retailers, manufacturers, designers. So I'm using all of this expertise and experience that I've had of working not only in India, but also working overseas too. And I've grown in this journey by 40% year on year. So it's not like one time I've been lucky and I have actually not been able to grow, but I've actually been able to implement the same thing to grow for the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm also a mom of a game psychologist. And why I'm mentioning this is because it's not that I've only implemented on myself and my students, but also the same strategy is what I have implemented to help my son find a futuristic job opportunity which we didn't even know when we were starting out into studying gaming. So it's not something that I want to just talk to you about as a career consultant, because actually I'm not a career consultant, I'm not a career counselor. And you will learn in the futures why even I'm having this conversation with you. You are going to be discovering today what are the myths, because even before we actually apply strategies, strategies are best applied when you know that you have got nothing which is holding you back. A lot of times, we don't think we are adequate. We have a lot of foundations and doubts that keep holding us back. So we don't go and apply anything. And why most jobs that you're applying to fail, you don't get responses. That's also I want to cover, so that you know that you don't have to make the same mistakes. Because once you have overcome the doubts, the myths, the most important thing which keeps holding us back is the fear that holds us back for the longest possible time. And understanding this, the moment you see your fear, that fear coming up next time to you, you know you have to forget about it and move ahead, because we are going to be bursting those things today. The third one that we are going to be talking about is a 3 proven strategies which are going to help you get hired fast in the job. Got it? So are you excited today? Are you excited about what you are learning? I really want to have some answers from you as this. Do you think this is going to be valuable and it's going to be changing your life in some manner? Because you are going to be spending another hour or so here. And if you're not excited, if this is not the best use of the time, then I would not want you to even spend this time here. So let me know what are your answers in terms of thinking about the next 1.5 hours that you're going to be here. Thank you, Asminta. Thanks a lot. Yes, because if I can give you information, I can give you the knowledge, but if you're not interested, if you don't think it's important for you, that's not going to be any good to you. And why we are talking about this today is because companies are hiring very differently. Like most of the people write to me and say, ma'am, companies are not hiring, people are not hiring. So how do we even get the job? And I know companies are hiring. They're just not hiring the way they used to hire most by advertising, because their HR is not there. There's a huge cut down which companies have done in terms of hiring staff. And they are trying to either promote people who are inside the company, who have been with them for a long time, or they are just going by the word of mouth, because a lot of new job opportunities are coming up. So if you are just applying with a very generic profile, people don't know if you can really help them or not. So you have to understand how can you attack this whole situation by being very specific of what you can do for the company. And there's so much of competition, you know it better than me, that if you don't apply correctly, you are losing out on opportunities. We can't afford to miss out on opportunities which are there today. It's extremely important that you stop kind of standing in the crowd, feeling more general, because it's hard to go out and stand outside the crowd. Because how do I know if you are the right person? Because when I am applying for I'm advertising and I start getting CVs, the most difficult thing is that I can't differentiate what's the difference between this person to another person to another person when I'm just going through the CVs, because we just make it very generic. We just want to play it safe. And that's what is not going to be working out today. So if you are doing anything like keeping a very safe or very well, like a wide covered employers you want to address, you are probably not going to hear back very soon from your employers, because they don't understand if you are the best person giving them high performance or not. Yes. Thank you. So the next thing that we want to talk about is that you might be wondering that whether this entire thing that we are going to be covering in the next hour or so is going to be right if you are just a fresher or you don't have relevant experience, because this is a very big problem. People don't have the relevant experience because you're not having internship or job opportunities as much to go and even gain the experience today. Or you have already got 10 to 12 years of experience and you are into senior management. These strategies are universal, and I have used it when I started, and I had used it even when I was in a senior management role also. Because these are very specific. They're not very generic ones which we are going to be using. And application to all of these strategies is very, very specific. I want to set some expectations here because in the next 60 minutes, we are going to be talking about something that is going to really help you take your business, your career to a completely different level. We are going to help you get understanding what exactly you need to get hired faster in the industry and get your dream role. So please ensure that you are taking a lot of notes because there's going to be valuable insights which I'm going to be sharing for the last 25 years. Whatever I have learned, I want to give it out to you. And the question and answers are going to be at the end of the session. So please do note down your questions and I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions that you have. What it is not, definitely not a promise that this is a placement company, because a lot of times people write to me, ma'am, can you help me with leads and all of this? I'm not running a placement company. I'm not a career consultant also. It's not a quick fix, something that, you take these strategies, apply it immediately, and you are going to get the results. And it is not for people who are not going to be applying all of that, what we are learning today. Because I can tell you, you can learn today what are the myths that are holding you back. But if you don't overcome those myths, and if you keep telling the same story to yourself again and again, you are not going to be able to get the results that this whole program is talking about. My results are here not very typical because honestly, everything is very strategically designed. It's just not like copy, cut, paste, not at all. It varies from people to people. How one person is going to apply is going to be very different than another person is going to apply, because everyone has very different set of strengths. They are going to be applying for different opportunities. So if you are applying to one opportunity and someone else who's applying to another opportunity altogether, then you cannot have like the same set of rules which are going to be followed. You have to tweak it as per what the requirement is, as per what the application has to be. So please understand, these are the things which are the foundation, and you have to take it and apply for your own situation in a very customized manner. So I want to tell you this thing very, very honestly. And I also want to make a very honest confession that always remember one thing. Before you go and even get any job with using any strategy or anything, you really need to know what are you best with. You really need to know what sort of organizations you should be focusing on. Because if you don't know the sort of organizations you should be focusing on, you can be the best person doing the best job, may not be the right person for that organizations. So if you don't know what are you best with, you can't look at finding what is your niche. You do not know what sort of organizations will be best benefited from you. And I'll give you a quick example here. When I talk about organizations, suppose I am an MNC. I'm an MNC, you come to me to work. MNC has a very structured way of working. They have set rules, systems, processes. And if I'm someone who is actually looking to work with a lot of freedom, who wants to work and experiment, who has her own ways of working, may not be the best fit for an MNC. So these strategies you can apply when you know the sort of companies you should be focusing on. These strategies you can apply when you have a network. If you don't have the network, you can't apply these strategies, because we're going to be talking about how will you leverage your network. What is the right way of leveraging the network? So that's going to be important. The fourth most important thing is your profile well built or not? If it's a generic profile, and I'll tell you by profile, we don't just mean your CV alone. We take other things into consideration as well. So if your things are not completely in place, then again, you are going to be unable to get the results. So I have to be honest, because I don't want to make any false commitments. We are going to be spending an hour together here, and I have to be absolutely true to delivering what you have come here for. And the last and the most important thing that you will have to know also is how to face the interviews with different organizations, because what is right may not be right for another company. So one company, what is right may not be right for the other company altogether. So if you don't know, if you're applying to a designer's position and you're applying to a high-end designer and versus a Reliance design, being a designer for Reliance, the answers for the designer's position are going to be very different, because what probably Reliance is going to be looking from a design perspective is that who can develop a good product instead of developing a design, because they don't have the customer who's going to go and buy those designs. They want someone to pick up a very well-selling design and develop into their price point, which their mass audience is going to be able to utilize it. So I am just being very specific here that there are lots and lots of detailed things that you have to look when you are actually going through these processes. But if you have these 5 things in place, then I can tell you there's nothing going to stop you from applying these strategies and getting hired faster. I want to also tell you something that, why am I talking? Because you might be thinking, Tanmaya, you are a business consultant. Why do you need to have this whole conversation with professionals in terms of getting hired? And I want to give you a very, very quick story around here. When I was working in the industry, almost like 2014, which is about 7-8 years back, I kind of felt a little bit of disconnect, though I was enjoying really well in terms of salary, position, market that I was handling. It was absolutely great. But I had already maximized in terms of being at the highest position in the organization. And I didn't see that, going further into this industry was actually making more sense in terms of business development and managing businesses. Because I had done it, I had a team which was doing it extremely well. I wanted to do something very, very different than what I was doing at that point of time. And I recognized, after I did a lot of searching around at what exactly I was looking to do, I felt that, I really wanted to help businesses, because, I was handling business and I was handling P&Ls. So when you're handling P&Ls, you have to be taking care of the turnover and what is going to be the profitability of the business. For that, we required a huge amount of high performing teams. So I was very, very passionate about building high performance team, maximizing profitability. Whereas I would see a huge problem with the way most of the teams used to work. Some of the teams would be as big as 20 people handling a business of less than $5 million, which is not absolute, which is completely, I would say it's going to really add into the cost of the entire business, and it's not going to be profitable at all. So my idea was that I wanted to go and talk to the management. In fact, that's what I did. I went and spoke to the management in 2016 that, I want to work in training and development of the people who are working in the company. And it was a global company. So I really wanted to go and work for other countries as well, the same thing. However, since the vertical I was handling was doing very well, they probably did not want to give that opportunity. Plus, they were not really thinking in terms of training and development as well. And that's when I decided that, I am going to be quitting. Because if I'm not living what I am dreaming of, or if I'm not doing what I want to do, then there's no point of wasting the time of the organization and myself as well. And that's when I left the job in 2017. And I can tell you it was a very, very hard decision, because you were at the peak of your career. You had good businesses, good team to handle. And that's what most of us aspire to be there. So leaving something so comfortable wasn't an easy decision altogether. And all that I left the company was with knowing that, I'm passionate about people, I'm passionate about performance development, and I'm passionate about profitability and efficiency. Now, with these 4 things, I did not know what is the next thing I'm supposed to be doing, because I had no one to guide me. And I really felt that it was very, very difficult. In fact, I went from 2018 to 19 just figuring out how can I really learn more about building efficiency. And that's when I actually picked up a few courses around profile understanding, career consulting, everything, which gave me a whole new dimension to how we should be actually building teams and increasing the performance and profitability of people. That's when I actually went and did a program for one of the MNCs on performance management. And now I work with businesses. But I can tell you in the last 6 years, which is 2014 to 2020, it's been a very, very tough time for me. I have almost spent 5 to 6 years just figuring out what do I do. And I realized this thing only if someone was there like me, I would have saved myself from the burnout. So don't take this advice as a career consultant. Take it if you are looking to grow in the industry. Take it if you are looking to establish yourself as an authority in the industry and enjoy what you want, why you wanted to be in fashion. Because I always loved the industry. I always loved the people I was working with. So it was not that I was not liking what I was doing. It was just that I wanted to do something which kind of gives back to the industry altogether. And this effort is actually one way of giving it back. I did not have anyone to guide me. I did not have anyone to give me direction. I don't want all of you to face the same problem. And that's why, I'm taking this time to explain you that it's not coming from the perspective of a placement or a hiring company or anything, because sometimes people do ask me, Tanmaya, when you work on businesses, why you are so close to individuals as well. I hope this answers, and I want to take you further to what I have promised you here. So we are going to be talking about the myths and fears that are holding you back. And this is something which is not common to certain college students, certain people, but it's actually to people who are even starting out or have a lot of experience as well. This is a standard answer because I think so 5 to 10 people write to us every day that this is the problem they are facing. And we do take time to talk to them as well. So the one thing is that I have zero experience in fashion and I'm a fresher. Yes, you have zero experience of doing something in the fashion industry. But remember one thing, that you are in the fashion college or you are studying because you are really interested in this industry. You have a way you look at the industry in a certain thing. You already have the talent that you can utilize, inner talent, which I'm talking about, which doesn't need to have a lot of experience. You doesn't need to have a lot of education to prove that. Because if you did not have the fashion sensibilities, or if you did not understand what is this industry about, probably then you should not be here altogether. So if you think fashion is industry somewhere, you feel more comfortable and connected with, then I can tell you that there is a role for you for sure. And we are going to be talking about there are more than 5 to 10 roles that would be most of the people think about. In fact, like I said, even for my son, when he was getting into gaming, all we knew was that there's going to be just gaming developers or people who are gamers. Whereas now we all know that there are more than 15 to 20 different roles. Like gaming psychologist is something which people hadn't even heard of. But that's what he did after he was able to combine his interest into gaming and with psychology, that he's working in this domain. If you think that you have picked up the wrong fashion course and it's not possible to work in my chosen field, I can completely resonate with you, because this is one big problem. People choose the programs because this is the good center. People choose the program because this is what seemed right to them, because they had no idea about when they were starting into the industry and they were joining the college, because there's not enough counseling and the right counseling given to people. Doesn't make a difference. I can tell you, if you are just doing a course, you are learning. Because basically, I'll tell you, even if you do the right course, if you don't have the abilities to apply that, you are not going to be able to move ahead. So if this is something that you are thinking about, oh my God, my course is not right, and that means I have to do another course, Stop thinking like that, because there is a way out. You can work, you can identify what your strengths are, you can identify what sort of companies will be the best place you should be working for, and you should just focus on applying there. Don't focus on applying what you are not good with. See, the problem which we face, why we always look at what we don't have, is because from childhood we have been told that this is what you're not good with. So we are automatically tuned to understand, okay, these are all the areas that I'm not very good with. But you don't have to do that, because you have to focus on working with people who are absolutely looking for what you have to offer them. And trust me, there are people, there are organizations who are looking for the right talent. The only thing is that you have to explain them correctly. What are you good with? If you can't do it, they are confused and they are not interested in having a conversation with you. In fact, this is like Ashika. She was a student of NIFT KDT, and when I met her, she was like not at all happy. She said, I don't know why did I even pick up this thing. I was interested into fashion, but I don't think so. I'm going to be continuing in this industry altogether. Now I'm going to be leaving and I'm going to be doing something completely different. And that's when I was like, how are your grades? And she said, I'm actually topping my college. And she was in the third year at that point of time. We did an assessment with her and we understood that yes, maybe was not the best program for her, but what she needed to focus on was being a stylist with people who are working in home furnishings. So because she was a KDT student and there's a lot of fabrics which are used by home furnishing people, she was the one person who can actually understand what sort of designers, what sort of things that the designer should be working on when they are offering solutions to the clients. So because she was as the stylist, she understood how designers go and design, and specifically from the fabric stage, she was able to find the right opportunity for herself. So don't get completely glued on the opportunities which you see in the college altogether. Oh, that means I have done KDT, that means I have to go and work for a knitwear company only. No, that is not true. Knitwear as a fabric is being used with so many different companies. It's a product in home decor, it's a product in apparels, it's a product in even in hospitality. So where exactly you are interested is you should be going and focusing and working there while you have the knowledge of knitwear as well. This is just an example. I'm just trying to explain you that your course doesn't limit you. It just facilitates what you have learned a little bit more about the area that you have been learning. Yes, I know it's a competitive industry and there's always someone better than me. I can completely resonate if this is something which you are thinking about. But what if I say that whenever I have had to change a team member, it has always been very, very hard for me. And people would say, Tanmaya, there's so many people who are not having a job. Why can't you just hire anyone? Honestly, we can hire anyone. But not that another anyone is as good as you, who you are. So just think about it. If you stop competing with others and start just focusing on what you are best with, do you think this myth can ever hold you back? Do you think this is going to ever make you think that, oh my God, it's too competitive? Yes, it is competitive. And that's the reason I would learn to apply things to focus on what I should be focusing on and not looking at what others are doing. Because what others are doing may be right for them, not for me. Is this all making sense to you guys? Please, because I don't want to give this entire conversation as one way. Are you seeing value in whatever we have spoken so far? Type in your chat boxes, because it's important for us to know that you are going to be implementing all of this, what you are learning today. Thank you, Asmita. Thanks a lot. Anchal, thank you, Maitri and Kanika, for interacting. Because, no one can be better than you for the right role. But if you are trying to fit in, of course, there's too much of competition. Just don't try to fit in into something who you are not. yes, this is so this design student, she's actually dropped out in her second year of NIFT, and her mom was very, very worried when she came to me. And I want to tell you this thing, that she was she had stopped going to the college because she was slightly hard of hearing, and she was pursuing design because she was very, very creative in terms of writing and all of these areas. Now she said, I know, because the way I see all the other design students, I don't feel very comfortable sitting with them and talking with them. And after hearing from her, I said, so what exactly do you want to do? She said, I really love to work with these kind of designers. I said, okay, fine, let's look at what your strengths are. When we did that particular assessment, we found that she was very, very good with writing. So we helped her create an application to write to her designer, and very soon she started writing for that designer as a blogger. Now you have to understand, this didn't only help her in getting a job. The biggest fear, the biggest problem that she used to face of going and facing other people, she didn't have to do that because she was a very, very high introvert person. She was someone who did not like to go and meet a lot of people and be with a big team. She would like to have that one-on-one conversation. Her content was so great that she was allowed to work from home, and now we can see anyways work from home is become almost a new norm. But the best part is that she's enjoying working with a designer that she wanted to work with, and her own disabilities did not stop her from getting this hired. So please understand, it's just not about finding the job that I'm talking about here. It's finding that core happiness, that what you want to really achieve in your life through this job, because this job is just one stepping stone to your dreams that you want to realize. It needs to give you the sense of satisfaction and happiness. It's not only about, oh, just let me get something so that I can earn some money. There's so many more things, because I have worked with creative people and I know how passionate they are with whatever they do. And when they don't like something and they are doing, I have seen them struggling too. So if you are in that mindset, then please understand that you have the right opportunity for yourself, even if you are having disabilities as well. My college is not helping us with placements. I honestly get this thing, because today with all of this COVID, companies are not coming to for placements. It's hiring has become extremely difficult, but this shouldn't stop you, because you are living in the social age. You're living in an age where you can be socially connected with so many people. So why don't we stop bothering about what your college has to offer or not? You have the capabilities of going and building a network. We can help you build a network. We can help you build the right network, which is going to be absolutely right for you. And they will find you useful to be in their network as well. Because end of the day, it's not, my networking does not mean that it's just about knowing so and so. It's about how do we add value in each other's life. So when you learn about strategic networking, when you know about how you should go and network, you don't have to be dependent on the college placements altogether. So if this is something which is holding you back, please move on. I don't have a network. If you're already having a lot of experience and you are thinking, well, I have never been on social media, I've hardly got anything to do with social media, which are very few people have, but not for the professional reason. So they mostly are there for scrolling through uninteresting feeds. But I can tell you, I was someone who had absolutely no clue about Facebook till 2017. Honestly, I can tell you this thing. When I left my job, I didn't even know what am I supposed to do with all so many platforms which were there. But I have not only learned and mastered it, but I'm actually teaching today how can you be on social media platforms and how can you build a big network. So that is coming to the first level of breaking all the myths. So if this is what has been holding you back, trust me, these are over things which you can overcome in the next few weeks. 1 or 2, 3 weeks, you can overcome all of this and you can move ahead. Now we're going to be talking about why do most job applications fail? Because I know We are making applications day in and out, and we say that we don't get responses. It's not because you don't come from a college, because I'll tell you, when I used to hire earlier, like 15 years back, I'm talking about, I used to believe that only Niftians are the best people to be hired, because I was from an IFT and I thought, if I could get jobs, 7 jobs after I had finished my program, then why can't others do the same as well? But it's not, I have learned over the years that, it's not because you are not from a premium college, because I know there are so many students from the most premium institutes as well, who are not able to get the job that they want to get. And it's also not because you don't have the relevant experience. I want to tell you that, it's very, very important, firstly, to understand that these are very outside factors. They don't control what you can deliver. They only add like a piece, a feather in your entire this thing. So don't focus too much on these things. Remember, you are completely good enough as you are today. You have good education. Honestly, if you can come on this webinar and have this conversation, that means you are a conscious person. You are not someone who is sleeping on a Saturday morning and not bothered about investing any time in learning. So if you are sitting on this webinar and you are hearing and trying to learn, you are good enough for sure. And even if you don't have the experience of working, you can still go and help companies. So stop thinking about it. And I can, like I've just explained to you that, most of the time people don't get, responses is because 90% of the time people are applying not in the right manner. So they are making one or more mistakes in the entire application process. And today a lot is getting automated and with algorithms. So it's being controlled. So if you are not doing it all very properly, then of course you are going to be missing out on the opportunities that you should be having. What are the real reasons? We want to quickly look through them. They don't fit the CV to specific job. They have a CV and they just send it to any job that they're applying to. The challenge which I hear from most of you is that, ma'am, how do I actually create a CV for every job? We are applying to almost 10 jobs on a daily basis. Well, that's the first mistake that you're doing, because you don't know which is the right job for you. So you're actually going and applying to 10 jobs on a daily basis. That doesn't need to be there at all. You really need to know the sort of jobs you are going to be good fit for, and then tailor make them for every different company. So suppose if I am great with communication and I want to get into marketing, then I just see how can I twist into marketing instead of talking about merchandising and product development and design skills also in the same CV. You are getting it. So you have to really figure out what are you best with and fit your CV to that specific job. And if you don't have the clarity of your niche, then I would say stop applying, because you are killing your opportunities. Because people who see your CV have already disqualified you. So if you don't know your niche, I would say don't even go and apply, because anyway, the chances of hearing back is less than 1%, and you are killing all your opportunities that you have. Use the same cover letter for all the jobs. I have made it. I have done all the work in one day, and I'm going to copy paste. Does not work today. I want to know why you want to work in my company. I want to know why should I give you the opportunity. I want to know what exactly are you going to do when you are going to be on board for me. And if you do not address these things in your cover letter, then I am not okay with even having a conversation with you, because in an interview, I have to spend time talking to you. Why will I spend my time if I don't see that you have put in effort in writing a covering letter specifically for the position that you have applied to? Here, ma'am, please see the attached CV is not good enough. So stop doing that if you're doing it, please. And I'm telling you, this is just not the freshers, but I've seen a lot of very experienced people doing the same thing. I have got 5 years of experience. Here's my attached CV. I'm looking for a challenging position in merchandising. Stop doing that, guys, please. It does not help you at all. It's very, very hard for businesses to hire people today. Make it easy for them so that they can, because you are solution providers to them. You are not job seekers to them. If you can say, this is how I can provide the solution to a company, I want you inside my company today. Are you getting that? Please So please ensure that you make covering letters which are specific to jobs. Applying for the wrong jobs that are not absolutely, like I said, if you are great with communication and you want to work into a marketing team, don't apply into a development merchandiser or a buyer also, or a retail planner as well. Though these might all seem very good opportunities, because you might just not fit in that role very well. You may just not perform in that role very well. So when you go for the interview, they can clearly see that you are not the right person for buying. They can clearly see you're not the right person for retail planning. And I can tell you, I have made the same mistake. I was very good with business development, and I'd applied to a sourcing company, and all they needed someone was to manage the production. Well, I was very sad when I didn't get the job in that company, because I thought I was the right person. I knew the market, I knew the product. But great, I learned it later that thank God I was not into the mundane work of just executing the production, because I was more of a customer understanding person. I was very good with understanding and developing businesses for companies. So I would rather focus there where I can utilize my skills and give the growth to the companies. So I'm telling you because I have made the same mistake myself as well, and I've learned from that mistake. So please don't do that. Do not write correct, because people write emails, but not in the right manner, and mostly sending to the wrong people altogether, because they will send it to someone whom they probably know. And they would not take the effort of knowing the right person they should be sending it to. Because see, every time, like I said, this is not something that is going to be a very quick thing that you are going to just learn. You'll have to do the work of finding out who is the right person in the company who should have been seeing your CV. Because when you send the thing to the right place, you think your job is done. Someone is going to do the work of forwarding the CV to the right person, but no. Today, no one has got the time. And the problem is that we are working from home. So when you're working from home, you hardly have 50% of the staff who is in the office and 50% of staff who's working from home. They can't even get to meet and forget about sending your CV to the right people. So you have to do that hard job of finding the right person and ensuring that you are applying directly to them only. Don't build a connection and leverage. Absolutely, guys. I can tell you, whenever someone writes to me on LinkedIn that, ma'am, I'm struggling with, a job, the first thing is that I go and check their LinkedIn profile. And I can tell you, 99% of all of you who have actually written to me, I can say that I have seen your CVs and there's got nothing mentioned on your profile. You are not building your network. You are not building your profile. Opportunities cannot come to you. You have to do the work of doing it. You guys are getting classes. You have put in so much of experience behind you. So why don't we leverage that and build a connection that's going to be right for you? And connections doesn't mean that I'm just knowing so-and-so person, but a meaningful connection is what I mean about. They don't submit direct and because I am not sure what I'm good with. So I'm writing, I can be good with merchandising also. I'm good with sales also. I'm good with product development also. As a company, I know I'm not sure what are you good with, because you're talking about your Photoshop skills. You're talking about your communication skills. You're talking about your draping skills also. Well, these are very different skills for the role that I require. And I maybe require 5 of them, which are aligned to the role that you are applying to. So not all the things that you have done or learned needs to go in this. You have to be absolutely specific about what your domain is. I hope it might be sounding that, this is too much that I'm asking you to do. But honestly, if you don't do all of this thing, I just did this webinar today because I wanted most of you to hear this out from me, as it's not possible for me to write and send feedback to everyone. But I want you to know that these are a must things that you have to do for getting a job today. Otherwise, it's very difficult, just going and doing a copy paste CV and sending it is not good enough today at all. This is Nana was someone who has worked for a very long time, almost like 7 years into the industry. And she was changing jobs every year. So when she came, she was like, for 4 months, I'm applying and I'm not getting application, any responses. So once we did her profile consultation, we understood that she was actually applying for brand management jobs, where she should be actually focusing on being a strategic brand person, because companies who are investing into strategy are the only companies who should be hiring her. She's not going to be really going to be able to help companies to market, because her marketing skills were not very good. So when you don't know the your profile, you make this most common mistake of going and applying to companies that should not, or going and applying to roles that are not right for you. So ensure that you really know what you are good with. If you don't, then seek out. Then maybe this is when you need to really stop and say, okay, let me figure this out first, and before I go and do the next thing. So we have delivered so far the myths that you are holding you back and the mistakes that you are making. Hope this is really getting you the value that you have come here for, because you have been almost here for 45 minutes plus. And if this is something which is actually helping you, then please write in the chat box, and we'll just move on to the last section as well, where we are going to be talking about the strategies. And I hope you are also noting down your questions we are going to be taking care of once we finish the webinar at the end of it. Thank you, Sana. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Maitri. Thank you, Shiva. Thanks a lot. I could know the mistake. Oh, great, Shiva. You can see the mistakes that you are making. I can tell you, just knowing the mistakes that you are making, you can actually have better chances of getting job, because you know that you don't have to make these same mistakes. Now, if you have overcome all of these things, we are going to be talking about the strategy. Because strategy is what is strategy? Let me tell you. Strategy is something which is like, the steps to help you achieve what you're looking for. So, you may say, I don't have the experience, but I want to be working in this area. I want you to show this to them. Don't tell them this thing. Your CV just tells them. If you can show this, they are going to be far more likely to believe you. And how can we show this? We can show this in our resume, in our covering letter, and in our portfolio. Now, when you write a cover letter, most of the time I see if people are writing a longer cover letter, they are replicating. So it's a very simple thing. Avoid recapping your resume, mentioning what the course you have done. Instead, explain, what you are passionate about, because they want to see why you are so much interested in the role. They don't even see, your resume goes as an attachment. Your cover letter goes on the email or the application that you are making. So if I don't find the cover letter interesting enough that you are the right one for me, I am probably not going to even open your resume, because I know that's the quality of work that you are doing. So it's like, the window that you are showing, a nice window you are showcasing, which would say that this is who I am and why I'm interested. So it's very important. And like I have said, ensure you are writing a fresh one for every application that you are making. Resume, guys, please keep it just for maximum 2 pages. And I can tell you, even if you have experience of 20 years, and you can do that, there's a way. And that's a reason you should know the sort of resumes which are going to be right for you. So is it going to be informational resumes you're going to be writing? Is it going to be something where you are going to be showcasing your skills that is going to be focusing on? Keep it very clean, creative, and professional. Because when your layout is not good enough, it's very too many fonts are there, the spacing is all out, it just doesn't let me interested. And ensure that you are using the keywords that you want the job for. So suppose if you are looking for a job as a product development merchandiser, just for example, then everything around product quality, price point, uh, timeline, supplier, design, all of these things should be in your in your resume, because if you're missing them, when algorithms is picking up your resume, it's going to miss you out as well, because you'll have the least amount. And if you're just talking about, this is a course, this is a program that I've done, you are not telling the employer that why you are applying for a product development person. And also be very specific whether product development you are going to be doing great for a high-end designer, or a high street retailer, or it's going to be for discount buyers, because product development role changes from one plus. So where it's going to be premium, it's going to be value. So using the right words, and I can tell you, when you do a profile assessment, you are actually able to gauge what sort of organizations, like whether you should be working with a high-end designer, or you should be working with companies like High Street, which are Zara, H&M, Marks and Spencer's, Monsoon, Cover Story, or you should be working with people like Reliance and Aditya Birla and Raymond's, because these are everyone has very different artistic levels. Depending on my levels of creativity, I should be choosing the kind of organization. Because what will happen is that, now suppose example, if a designer who is working for say Prada wants to come and work tomorrow for Reliance, it's not that she will not have the right design sensibilities. But the problem is that the time she will invest in creating her designs will not be good enough for Reliance to pay for, because Reliance would want more options in lesser amount of time, which doesn't need you to be so highly creative. So which probably needs someone to go and look for at what's trending in the, or what's doing really well with the other high street and design labels, and create a version of it, because that's what their customer all needs. You don't have to go and recreate something. So keep this in mind when you are doing your resume, that you are really being very specific to whom you want to be working with, and using the right terminology, using the right language is extremely important. Because if you haven't used the right language, if you're using premium for a Reliance designer, it doesn't make sense, because I don't want premium designs. I know I will not be able to sell to my audience. Ensure you are thinking about the company that you're going to be working for, and not just about what you have to offer them. Got it? Your portfolio. Now, this is exactly where you can use to showcase, because a lot of times people say, how do we show? How do we show? Well, if you are passionate and if you are really interested in something, this is what I would recommend you to build it all the time. And let me tell you today that your portfolio may not necessarily just be something. So if you are a designer only, you don't have to be doing this thing. Even if you are a communication specialist, you want to get into communication, writing, blogging, visual communication, you can create your portfolios. You can create small article posts, which you can be even posting on your social media. Because what happens is that you are being true to who you are applying to, simply. You're not trying to say, this is what I want to do, and I am showcasing myself as a completely different person. So all the people who thought only designers had to do the portfolio is not true. If you are very good with buying and you want to be a buyer, why don't you write about something which is very interesting in terms of buying, or what is something that you have learned about buying that you would implement as a junior buyer? Because it showcases that you are not waiting for someone to come and teach you everything to do the things. You are a self learner, and you can do things yourself without people preaching. Because what companies don't want to do today is training. They don't want to invest into teaching you. They don't have the time and the bandwidth to do it. So if you have showcased this in your portfolio, in your CV and your cover letter, everything is aligned. Trust me, I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason. And companies will be hiring you with eyes closed because they know they are giving a part of the work to be handled by someone who is responsible. Got it? Strategy 2 is cold emailing. Now, this is another thing which is extremely important. And I had used the same strategy, honestly, when even the emails were not there. So when I started back 25 years back, I had finished my program in NIFT, and I had looked at apparel resources or apparel directory or something which used to be at that point of time. And I had written to about 25 companies, the owners of 25 companies, by hand, and posted it. And that's when I actually got seven interviews I had got, and all the 7 places I had actually got the job. So I was literally sitting at the end of it and thinking which is the right place for me to go and join in terms of the distance I will be taking to travel, because at that point of time I had to travel and I did not really have all the means to travel. So I was literally choosing my job opportunity based on what is going to be the easiest route for me to travel. So, you can have these choices also in your life if you're using these strategies. And this is a very, very powerful strategy. What I did was that at that point of time, I looked into the apparel directory. I took out the name and numbers of people, of the owners. I straight away wrote an email to them, had put my CV there. I was straight away putting myself in front of the owner and not in front of a junior merchandiser or a HR person or someone like that. Because the owner knows best who they want to really hire or not hire. And that's how, even if the HR is not bringing all the applications on your table, you are reaching out right in front of the owners, this thing, by using this strategy. But let me tell you this thing. I can tell you, even if I had no idea about profiling, personal assessment, I was very, very clear when I started out that I was not a designer person, because I knew while being in NIFT that what it takes to be a designer, and I could completely see that I am not the designer person. So I should not even apply to design jobs. I knew I was good with communication, and that's what is required for merchandising. So I was only applying for jobs which were into merchandising. So you can see, I knew my strengths. I knew the sort of companies. I did not apply to designers, because I could have gone and applied to designers as merchandisers as well. But I knew if I'm not a designer myself, probably I might not be the best merchandiser for the design company also. Because that time the formats were mainly a manufacturer or an exporter and a designer. And a lot of budding designers were really coming up at that point of time. But look at it, if I would have probably gone and applied for design positions because I had studied design, I would have failed miserably, and I would have thought I'm not good for the industry altogether, or the industry is not right for me. So when you use this cold emailing strategy correctly, when you know your strength, the right companies, and the role that you should be applying to, I can tell you this is the fastest way for you to getting responses from the employers who really are looking for the right people in their life. The third one is leveraging connections. Guys, we are living in a very, very socially connected world. We can talk a lot about social media, but if you are not building connections, then you are not leveraging the opportunities which you can create out of connections. And let me tell you, just by building the right connections, and right means I don't mean that, where you are only using them, but you should be also able to help them as well. Ensure that, when someone is giving you some information, you are also giving it back in some or the other way, because that means the connection is just not going to be remembering you for the questions you had asked them, but they will also remember for the value that you have given to them. And you can all of you are so creative people. You can create a lot of ways of how you can creatively go and apply these strategies to build a good connection. Leveraging connections is an extremely, extremely important aspect. What is the best way? Use professional platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, or any other platform you think is going to be right for you. And start with an informational interview. Ask them, something that, maybe, I'm interested in starting up into the similar position that you are. I'm inspired to work into manufacturing or with retailers. Can we have a 5 to 10 minutes chat? Can you just share me how your journey has been? What will happen is that you are not trying to just give a blank thing why you want to connect with that person. You are clearly giving them a reason why you are reaching out to them. And when people know the reason, they know that you are not being dubious. You just don't want to be seen as a part of connection, and they are happy to share the value. They are happy to give you the information that probably is going to be game changing for the role that you are going to be taking on. So ensure that you are requesting for informational interviews with the right people, because suppose if you are into designing and you are looking for and getting some informational interview with a merchandiser also, it can be good, because if you are saying, I'm a designer, I want to know how I do design products which are going to be selling well for merchandisers, can you tell me what exactly do you expect from me? Trust me, you will get a lot of insight, and you can be offering designs which are going to be making a lot of difference and will offer growth to not only to you, but also the organization as well. Because if the organization is not growing, your growth stampers as well. So request for information interviews with the right people in the network for the right reasons. Ensure, just don't go and do things for the sake of it. Oh, I have sent a connection request. I have 100 people in the connection, but I'm not getting anything. What are you doing? Are you engaging with them? Are you connecting with them? Are you having conversations with them? And we teach all of this. If you don't know, then don't let your steps stop and say, oh my God, I don't know. And I'm sitting and I'm daydreaming about how to do it. You can go and ask help. You can. And there is someone who can help you here as well. So the 3 strategies which we have spoken today are: show them that you can do a job through your CV, your cover letter, and your portfolio. Even your social profile is a great way to showcase what you love doing. Cold emailing is a strategy you should only implement when you know your strengths, the kind of companies you should be working with, and what will you be able to do for them. If you are not very clear, please don't go and utilize it, because you are going to be losing out on future opportunities which might be coming to you too. And ensure that you network the right way so that people don't stop blocking you. A lot of people get trolled, blocked, all of this because they're not doing it the right way. They think it's like, someone who's just sitting out behind the screens and no one notices, but no, people do notice who are the people in my connection, and they sometimes go and block you because your content which you are posting on this is not aligning with who they want to be connected with. So ensure that your profiles are very, very well managed and you're putting very relevant content on your profiles. Has everyone got what all we had promised today? Is everyone very clear about it? Because let me tell you, it's a very competitive industry. And I can tell you, one single mistake, one wrong answer, one wrong step gets you completely uprooted into the right opportunity. And that's what you don't want, at least right now, when there are less opportunities right now. And how do these 3 strategies help you is because you get clear today. You know exactly, once you have the clarity, how do you go and apply to companies and get more responses, and you understand the power of building connections today, because if you're not sitting and building connections the right way, you are not going to be able to leverage the power of social media, which you have in your hands, which is free of cost right now. No one is charging you to be on social media and build connections and the whole network. You must be thinking, that, okay, fine, I have learned. And if you have really learned all of this and you're wondering how can you apply all of these strategies and get the results that we are talking about, is it something that you are really thinking about? Is it like something that you have said, okay, fine, Tanmaya, it's great that, at least now I know the mistakes I should be avoiding. I should be stopping to, doubt myself and hold myself. The myths are broken today. I know the strategies. but I still feel I do not know how do I apply these strategies because I don't know my strength. I don't know, what sort of companies I should be focusing on. I don't know if my profile is right or wrong right now. If I need someone to go and review my profile, if you think, I am someone where I'm thinking about uh, why should people connect to me or how do people connect to me? Are these questions kind of coming to you right now? Because if this is what because I told you, knowing, thank you Asmita, thanks a lot. Knowing doesn't mean that you can apply it all of them, because knowing is a first step of what you are doing incorrectly. It's a process that you have to go through to be able to apply everything that you have learned. But if you are not aware, you can't even change where you are at this point of time. So there are two ways what you can be actually choosing to do. One was one of the things which I had to follow because I had no one to actually mentor, and I had to really struggle for only 6 years to find what I am doing today. And this is exactly what I wanted to do 6 years back, honestly. I wanted to work with businesses. I wanted to help them grow profitability, build growth for them. I wanted to build high performing teams. I wanted to help people get into the right roles. But it took me just 6 years to do this, all of this hard work. Or only if I had found someone who has a process, probably I would have saved myself from all the burnout and all the twists and turns that I actually went through this entire process. Do you think you want me to help you? Are you in this dilemma whether you should actually reach out? Do you think that there are areas that you need someone to help you, a professional to help you, who has already been in the industry for more than 25 years? I have been with businesses, I've built teams. I exactly know what it can help you in getting to the right sort of organizations. And if you are saying yes, or you are even considering right now, you're thinking about it, I'm not sure if this is right for me or not, well, then I want you to really think about it, because it's just going to get harder and harder over the period of time, because things are going to be difficult. There are going to be less and less opportunities. And if only you focus on what you are doing correctly, you are going to maximize your results. Because if I'm doing 20 things which I'm not very clear about, why I'm doing, what is the reason, I can't use a very specific strategy, because the whole way of using strategy, it helps you focus. It just helps you narrow down what you are doing. It takes away all the clutter from your day-to-day work. So it's extremely important. And that is where, I want to talk to you about the Get Hired Now in Fashion program, which is the fastest way, which is going to help you get back in the industry if you have lost your job, or if you're just starting out. It's going to get you into the industry very, very fast, because it's a process which is designed, which takes you one step after the other what you should be doing. Here we are going to be talking about, if you are going to be signing up for this program, you will get everything which is going to be important for you to build your profile. Learn exactly who are the opportunities that you should be saying yes to, what employers are going to be right for you or not so right. Because when you are applying to 10 positions on a daily basis, that means you don't really know what sort of employers you should be focusing on. You don't even know if 90% of the places you are actually, I can tell you 90% of places you are applying to are even relevant for you or not, or you are relevant for them or not. And it helps you build the resume and cover letter and your profiles based on your niche and not a very generic one, because general is nowhere. Like, today, if I want to hire someone, I want that person to give me a 70 to 80% performance. This is what the companies are looking for. They want to lower their cost of hiring. They want to have maximum productivity from the people. And you can't produce and be highly productive if you are not operating in the area of your expertise. It helps you understand what you do to strategically network with people and confidently cover your interview so that you are talking about the offer, the solution that you're offering to the company, and not basically you are qualifying the company to say, okay, whether this company is going to be right for my career path or not. Because honestly, I can tell you, you can't go and help a company today if you are not very clear. If you why should I spend so much of time, energy, if it's not really eventually helping me achieve my career goal? Think about that. And in the process of achieving your career goal, if the company grows, you are going to be more dedicated to the job rather than just doing it for the sake of it. And that's the only way you can deliver high productivity for the companies too. So it's extremely important that you know and learn these things. Applying all of these things can get you the job in the industry in as quick as 2 to 3 months time. And this is like a proven process. I have offered this program to individuals and they have taken this thing. It is specifically designed for people who want to beat the competition, get 10 times more responses on their applications. Because if you don't get enough responses, you are always going to be very needy in your interview calls. You are always going to be like, let me somehow just get a job. You will never be coming out from the place of confidence and clarity of what you want to offer. And getting a better salary would be like, if I don't get another job? So you don't want to be in a situation where you run out of opportunities. You want to have a network where you always know the right opportunity which is going to be coming in next for you, because you are going to be growing in your career. Maybe the current organization may be able to offer you growth, or maybe another organization. But suppose if I have to look at, so a lot of times I've seen people, they have outgrown their positions, but they have not changed a job because there's lack of opportunities. But when you have connections, there's no lack of opportunities, because you're connecting with people in the right network, the right tribe. You know who are going to be right for you, and who you are going to be right for as well. And it's all starts in a short span of 2 to 3 months only, because that's the time you're going to be working on learning all of this and implementing and getting ready to enter the market. That's what this whole time is. So if you want to stand out in a crowded market, get your dream job, negotiate the salary that you deserve, be authority, because end of the day, I believe every employee in my organization is an authority in their own area. They are the ones telling me what am I supposed to be doing, rather than me telling them what they should be supposed to be doing. Because if they are not, then they are not true business. They're not true business support people for me. That means, they are just coming and doing their job, which I don't want anyone to be doing that. Because today, companies don't want job seekers. They want people who are going to come and contribute to the growth of the company and enjoy that in the process. Because if you're not enjoying, then you're sucking at it, and then you are unhappy. And honestly, productivity is minus, not even zero, I can tell you that. And this can all happen for you in the next 2 to 3 months. So if this is what you're looking for, then there's a completely designed course which is there, and you are going to be able to take the step-by-step process to achieve, which is where it's a 7-week program, and it starts on the 10th of July. It starts on the 10th of July. It's a 7-week online program where you're going to be investing 2 hours every week for this. In the first 2 weeks, we help you understand your niche. We talk about what are your strengths. We help you understand what are the opportunities you should be saying no to, and businesses saying no to, because even if you get a job, you might just leave in next 2 months or 3 months, and you don't want to spoil your resume, because if you have too many wrong places, that means you are not very clear about what you want to do. So you don't want to get into all of these things. So we spend 2 weeks to help you just understand and figure out your niche. And this is done not by just having a conversation like this, but you actually do an online assessment. It does explain your personal profile, and it is a 32-page report, which you keep with yourself, because it is going to be handy not only for this first time when you're looking for a job, but always when you are even looking to grow in your different opportunities. Evaluating a company, okay, fine. So if these are my values, probably I should not focus on this sort of companies, because they are not going to be where I would love to work on the long-term basis. So it's a super, super important stage of your application process. I don't want you to just go and apply to everyone and everyone, because you are not going to get responses from. Plus, it's a very over-tiring process. And it's depressing because when you have made 50 applications and you don't even hear from five, you feel like you're not good enough altogether. And I don't think so. We are like that at all. This poor response is simply because I have made too many wrong applications. This was with Amrita, and she had about 5 years of experience. She'd worked with very good companies. She was a student. She's a pass out from NIFT Mumbai. Very, very intelligent, dedicated. Honestly, I can tell you, when she came to me, she already had 5 years of experience working in Arvind and some very good companies. Her problem was that she wasn't enjoying the work that she was doing with bigger companies, and she was getting these offers there. You won't believe the reason, and she was surprised herself when we did the assessment. She said, oh my God, now I know why was I not interested in all of this. Because a simple reason was that she was someone who was a very, very quick action taker, very independent, and a very progressive person. Now, the good thing is that Arvind is a big company, but bigger companies come with too many challenges or around what you call too many challenges around structures and restrictions. So this is all you can handle. So she wasn't growing. She felt that, this is something stopping her growth, because she was a fast learner, fast action taker. The bigger the company, the slow action taker you become. This did not align with her value. And that's the reason she was changing jobs. What we recognize is that she is going to be the best person to go and work up with startups who are working on sustainability. Now she knows that she doesn't have to go and apply to so many companies. And she also knew that why she doesn't have to waste time as well. 1 second. I'm just getting some chats. Hi, Sandeep. Thank you. Sandeep, it would be nice if you can email us all these details, and we can, I'm having 7 years work experience in merchandising and sourcing, changed only 2 companies in 7 years span, applied for brands like First Cry, Best. See, now you're applying to brands like First Cry, Bestseller, Raymond, even shortlisted. Yes, because, they are very different. Now, again, you're doing the same mistake of applying to very different companies, and they don't see that you are the right fit. So you might be right for one of them, but company won't give chance to technical sound people. Honestly, companies will give you chances for the who are technical, but the thing is that half the time we're not able to communicate what we are really best with. So Sandeep, I'm going to be saving this message, and probably we are going to be connecting with you to see how can we help you here. But what I can see is that there's lack of clarity right now. I can tell you this thing. I can see lack of clarity in the sort of companies that you should be applying to. And if this is something which is something which you are not very clear about, I would suggest you to come and join this program, because it's going to help you get very, very clear about what is your super niche. The third week is all about getting into understanding of what are the future career opportunities. See, with this whole transition of Corona, I'll tell you, so many companies have stopped hiring the way they were hiring. The roles have changed, and the requirements for the same roles has become very different now. So we need to know what exactly are companies looking for, and what are the futuristic career opportunities, so that we know this is where we would be focusing on when we are applying. And we are going to be standing out, because if I'm going to be applying to the same roles which all the other people are applying to, I'm just putting myself into a too much of competition situation. So in the third week, we focus on what sort of companies you should be focusing on, how do you find those companies, and also what sort of future opportunities you are going to be getting when you are going to be focusing on these companies. Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks a lot. This was Naina, because after 7 years of working, she wasn't able to find out what will it take to work with a great brand company. So she wanted to become a brand manager, and she thought only MBAs are hired for being a brand manager. Whereas when we kind of worked with her, she understood that, her whole idea lies into, yes, we will drop you the email, Sandeep. The whole idea lies in strategy and not in being a marketing person. So just by focusing on the role that she should be working in, and also figuring out what companies invest into strategy. Not every fashion brand company invest into strategy. They don't have a very strong foundation. Most of the fashion brands don't have a very strong foundation. So if you are not going to be working with a very, very strong foundational brand, you won't even grow into the business a lot. So that's Naina's this thing. Powerful profile building week is 4 and 5. Here we help you go through whatever you have been able to figure out as this is my niche. And this is the sort of companies and roles I should be focusing on. In these 2 weeks, you actually create a customized resume for yourself and also the complete profile, which adds in a lot of other aspects, just not your resume as well, because we want you to be talking about attracting the right employers. We want when people see your resume or portfolio or profile anywhere, they should be reaching out to you that, this is something that we are looking for. Do you think this is the right opportunity for you? And that's really true for the people who are taking time to build their profiles like this. Guys, I can tell you, this is not just conversation. There is hard work. You sit down and you work through every week. Week on week, you are given assignments, you complete it, we review it, we give you feedback. The idea is not to just say, promise you will get a job. You will do all of this work, which is going to help you get closer to the job that you really want to do, and be very happy while doing it. Because trust me, none of my people complain working for 12 hours, because what they are doing is what they love to do. They are going to stop complaining because they are enjoying what they are doing. Only when something is stressful for you, you look at your watch and you want to go and walk back, or you want to log out from the system. But if you are truly interested in what you are doing, then you don't look at the watch again and again. So remember that, very important. In the 6th week, we're going to be talking about what's the right way of strategically networking. We are going to give you templates where you are going to be knowing what sort of messages you should be sending when you are going to be making applications. You are going to be developing how will you work on developing meaningful connections with the existing network, because we don't want to just have dead connections in our network. We want to have active, connecting, engaging network where people are interacting and talking to each other, where people are supporting. It should be like we are a tribe together and not just connection, just knowing so and so person. And in the 7th week, which is module 5, we talk about how should you go and crack the interviews with confidence. Because understand one thing, if you are not very, very confident, I cannot hire you, because I cannot give you responsibility to do something which you're not very confident and certain about. And you will not be able to ever negotiate correctly if you are not very confident about the solution, what you are offering. If I was not very confident about telling you what I'm talking to you about, I would have fumbled. I would have not been very confidently telling you exactly what I'm going to be doing to your life, in how you're going to be making a difference by doing this entire program. So you have to believe in things, what you are doing and what solution you're offering, and then only you can be confident. You cannot get a job and be confident. You have to be confident for that role, and then only you can get that job. And this is Arpita, she got a 30% higher salary just by understanding how she should actually go, because her skills were great. She really knew the kind of customer she wanted to work. We only had helped her around interview and how does she go and talk confidently about the solution and what sort of offer, solution she should be offering through her job. And that's what got her a job into a UK based sourcing company with a 30% hike as well. Guys, these are real examples. I'm sure you all are sitting here and hearing to me, and you are wondering that, well, this is not just theory, but this is something which I have helped people deliver this entire thing over a long period of time. I know you need it a lot. And this is a way I've kind of summarized the entire cost of this program for people who have done with me on an individual basis. Because I have all of this work that I have done so far has been on a one-to-one basis, helping them identify their niche, the insight into the future career possibilities. Where we sit down and we kind of go through what possibilities arise for you, helping you build the profile, strategically working on your network so that you have got 50 to 150 good connections in your network over a period of 2 to 3 months, and also work with you on cracking the interviews confidently. This all totals up to about 32,000 rupees. And you might be wondering that, good Tanmaya, thank you. I'm sure about it. I mean, this is Ashika, who had actually taken up this entire program and had got an opportunity even before she had graduated. And after 3 years of working, no, sorry. Sorry, this is not Ashika, but this is Juhi. Actually, the name is incorrectly here. This is Juhi, who had already worked for 3 years and was not very happy in her career, and she was changing job year on year. Just by knowing she has been able to get a job in the area that she really wanted to work. So Get Hired program is the exact system that's going to help. See, this is the same thing which I have used for when I have been in the industry. It's the same thing which I have used even to help my son get the right profile for himself, not only in India, but even in Netherlands, where it was a very, very super niche that he had to really decide he should be focusing on in the gaming industry altogether, which is based around his strengths, because I did not want him to do something which he is not going to be very happy about. And let me tell you, this all has happened last year in the pandemic. In 2020, he graduated. And while so many students did not find the right opportunity for themselves, he has been able to get it only because he was true to what he wanted to do in the industry. He was very, very confident about, I don't want to just go into the gaming for entertainment, but for serious gaming is what he was really choosing in for. If he wouldn't have been, probably he would have just been one of the other person who is not working today as well. And we could have just said, oh, it's pandemic, it's very difficult to get a job. And specifically in foreign countries, it is very, very difficult too. A single session, I can tell you, because that's what businesses and people pay to me. And some of the people who have taken some of the people, when I'm talking about, are the people who are entrepreneurs, who have started their own startups, have paid almost 45,000 rupees for this. And I have seen other programs. Honestly, the reason why, I am coming and delivering this thing to you today is not because I want to work as a career consultant, but I have seen such crappy things in the market that I feel like, my God, this is never going to help you get the job. It's not even teaching you the basis on what you should be focusing on. I have been in the industry for 25 years, hired, been in the job myself, had teams. So there is absolutely no way I can see people telling you what you really need to do. And that's what kind of made me think that, okay, fine. Thank you, Shiva. Thanks a lot. That's what made me feel that, this is something which is very important. And I would want you to kind of hear this from an IT professional. she's not even from fashion, because when I did my profiling, when I was learning my profiling, I actually worked with people in different industries, but I wanted to be sure whether we are really able to understand the capabilities or not. She was working in the industry for more than 20 years. She was not struggling in her job, but she just wanted more. She wanted to know what's the next thing that she can be doing. And I would say, just hear this, what Shaswati has to say. She is a cluster head for about 150 people in TCS even today.
I wanted to take 2 minutes to share my experience of yesterday, one session with Tanmaya. So it all started with a nudge in my back. I'm working successfully as an IT professional for the last 20 years, and I just had very vague ideas around some service lines which I thought could tap in as revenue, extra additional revenue sources of income for me. And knowing Tanmaya through a spiritual connection, she's a good friend, and we are part of a challenge which we are doing right now. I just decided to give it a go because she was doing that for many people in the team, and I was kind of attracted towards her aura and the way she had a lot of clarity, which she emanated. What ended up being happening was much more than I had asked for. But it is, I would say, really, she came truly as God sent because she started with a very methodical and structured approach. I'm a structured person, and I love the way she made me go through a report which kind of listed all my characteristics into various parameters, which had an assessment of my personality, my strengths, and so on. Then, secondly, the second most important thing is she did not impose any suggestion on me. She gently nudged to match those things which with my own inner calling. And in that process, we filtered out 4 or 5 revenue streams. Of course, the third point is we will have a session after I've done my research. And now it is more the buck rests on me on how much power and fuel I put against what she had told me. But really, this session had, I myself did not know, and there was so much lying inside me in the deep recesses of my mind and in my heart, in my brain too. She really, through a very nice approach, which I did not even know existed, was able to shed light and bring those to surface. And I'm so grateful to her. And I just wanted to thank her through this video and also share that exquisite, exercise. People call it career consultancy, but then I think it is life designing because sessions like this, if the person pursues, and I hope I will do and showcase through my action in coming years, can change a person's life for much, much, much better. Thank you so much, Tanmaya, and I, from bottom of my heart, wish you all the best. May you continue to shine, and this work of yours, which is so extraordinary, and help souls like me find and find ways to tap into their highest self. Thank you, and wish you all the best. Take care.
You know what was surprising here? I can tell you this, that she was such a fast action taker that within 3 months she had come back to me while achieving one of her biggest goals of being an author as well. She had already co-authored the book in 3 months' time, just because she understood that this is a natural ability. She was already working with someone assisting, but she never believed in herself, because she has been working in an IT professional, and that's how she used to define herself. So the possibilities are huge within us, and it's just about tapping into it. And
I wanted to take 2 minutes to
so we want to definitely make this program very, very affordable. The reason why I'm doing this entire group session here is, how can we reach out to more people, because there's so much more potential which needs to be unleashed, and that's the reason I want to make it absolutely super affordable for people who are very keen to take action and just are looking for some guidance to move ahead here. And you can make this entire payment across two options, which is 8,000 each, so a total of 16,000 is all you need to pay for the entire program. Or you can just pay today for 12,000 rupees, where you again save 4,000 because you are making a single payment. The program starts on the 10th of July and it's going to be a 7-week program. I really want to reach out to more and more people, honestly, not because this is a program that I want to sell. Probably, we will hardly be making anything on this entire program, but we want to unleash the potential because this industry is going under a lot of stress today, only because a lot of good talent is not able to do what they are supposed to be doing and delivering. And that's where, I really want your help and support, because if you are going to be taking action, I'm going to have many more success stories which I can be sharing and more people can be looking to take. And that is why I would say, I'm happy to make it absolutely no brainer for people who are really, really action takers right now here. They can either pay this across 2 installments of 5,000 each, or they can just simply make one installment of 8,000. Because this entire program is going to be less than what probably I charge for a single session. But again, this is an investment that I am doing today where I want to help more and more people. I want to reach out to more and more audience, telling them that this is what they should be focusing on and leave the competition, leave areas which are not really relevant for them. When you are focusing on what you are going to be doing, then you are going to deliver the best. This program is only going to be for 20 people. This 8,000 is only for, this offer is only for today. All the people who register it for 8,000 are going to be registering today itself. Anyone who is going to be registering after this will be paying a minimum one-time payment of 12. Otherwise, across 2 installments, it's going to be 16K. But if you think someone else needs it, please refer this entire thing to them. We are going to be more than happy to share the details. And if you think that this is something which you are really looking for and you have got value in today's program, then you can go ahead and make the payment by either Google Pay or Paytm using the number which is given below. It's absolutely the simplest and the best investment you are going to be making. See, the biggest problem I can tell you is that people don't believe in themselves. That's the reason they don't invest into themselves. They don't invest into learning. Shashwati, whom you just heard back, she was already working with someone in helping that person co-author the book. But the thing is that she was just playing as a person who's being just a resource person. The moment she understood that, she can really write well, which is already in her talent she had, she went ahead and co-authored the book. And in less than 3 months, that book was ready. So there is unlimited potential that lies within us. And trust me, we have always been told to tap into what we have learned, what we have studied. We are never told to tap into who we are as people. I can tell you, I have done luckily well, but I know I could have done superbly well if I had someone who would have just told me, what am I doing? I've created a strategy. My core work is strategy, actually. My core work is helping you move from here to there in a very structured and a step-by-step process. That's all I'm doing, whether it's for businesses, whether it is for people. Only if I would have really known in this entire years, I wouldn't have worked into business development and all. I would have only worked into strategic roles for companies. And I would have achieved much higher success than probably what I have achieved now. And that is the power of knowing who you are and what you can do best in the industry. And this is what we offer you through this program. We offer you assistance, we offer you guidance, and you are part of our community for the next 3 to 4 months till the time you are not getting a job. Because we don't want you to finish this program in 7 weeks and say, okay, fine, our job is done and dusted. No, we want to help you even till the time you are getting the right opportunity for yourself, and you stay with us in the community for as long as this community is there, because we are building the tribe of people who support each other, who build on their strengths, who are just not competing but ready to collaborate with each other. That's what we stand for as a community and a company as well. So guys, if you are struggling, stop being in the state of, I don't know, I don't have the help. You have the help around here. Go and take action. Go and invest into this. And we are going to we are going to handhold you and take you to the entire process of 7 weeks, which is going to get you what you truly deserve. And when you do everything systematically, every week you are completing your work, your assignment, you are just coming closer to your dream role. You are just coming very, very close to where your potential lies and what you can deliver for people. So it's extremely important that you focus on all of this energy into doing what you should be doing and not a very generic work. Any questions, I'm absolutely happy to answer it right now, as I had promised. But I hope you have taken a lot of value and a lot of notes from today's session, and you are going to be taking action whether you come on this program or you don't come on this program. So I'm open to any questions you have. Kanika, I can tell you this thing, that, I understand, like what I told you about Arunima. Her design skills were very, very poor. We helped her get a job even when she was facing with a hearing problem, when she was not very comfortable of sitting into a meeting. So someone with a disability can get a job. I can tell you, good in communication. And if you are not good in communication and connection, probably the role that you should be focusing on shouldn't be around these two strengths at all. And the moment it is not, you have the right opportunity for you. And that's where I think so you are again lacking out, because you can actually go, 1 second, I'm just going to be typing in my email address so that people can reach out. Reach out, because some of you have actually messaged me directly to email you. So the whole idea is that we want you to go and focus in what you are comfortable with, not what you are not comfortable with. Because let me tell you, if someone says you are not good with communication, means your strength is not communication, but you have another strength which you are very good with. So rather than focusing on what you are not good with, we will focus on what you are best with. Like I said, for Arunima, she was having great writing skills, and we all focused was, how can she write for her dream designer? That's it. We didn't want her to go and focus on something around designing, because that's what was not her strength. So please ensure that you are also doing the same thing. Any more questions that you have? Another thing which I really want to say is that all of you who are going to be joining in today will also get a bonus of one-on-one review after all the work is complete, to ensure that whatever we have done and you have applied is all in place correctly. So this is going to be a one-on-one session. We are going to be talking about your super niche and What is it that you should be just focusing on and reviewing that everything is in sync with that, whatever we have done covered in the program as well. So this is an additional bonus to people who are actually joining in today. You can always write to us your questions on the email ID, which I have shared with you. And we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. You want to share this information with someone whom you already know who can be helped with this, please feel free to share. We can give all the program details to them too. Thank you all for staying back. One second once. I'm good in technical part and designing casual and formal wear, but as I'm not good. Kanika, I completely get you. And I can understand. Everyone says communication is very important. But let me tell you one thing, that communication is important, but you don't need to be as good as a communicator as me, because you and me are different personalities. That's the reason I'm doing a very different job than you. You know, if you are good with technical, that means you are detailed and you are focused and you can do something which you are best with. Now, the thing is that what we have to do is that look at where your strengths lie and help you figure that out. Because if we can just help you figure that out, you are not going to be stressed about thinking about, oh my God, how do I communicate the way my colleagues communicate? Because the whole idea is not for you to stress about what you have to do, which you are not comfortable with. My idea is that do the best what you are best with, because I cannot make you do something which you are not great with. Thank you, Sandeep. I'll look forward to connecting with you too. And any more questions before we wrap up today's session? Thank you so much for being so patient and staying with us till the end of the session. Thanks for the valuable session. Thank you, Achal. What are you doing, Achal? How are you placed in terms of your work and everything? Okay, so I'm just ending the session now. Thank you.